Should I be upset or just let it go? Pro tip. Don't ask Reddit for any relationship advice. You're going to get a mixed bag of what is okay for them or not. Every relationship is built differently from each other. And every partner has their own set of things they will and won't look past. Just talk to her. Make sure that emotionally you both feel supported. And if the answer is no, change that. There's not much else to it. Don't listen to the people blaming you or telling you it's okay. These are the same people who are on dating subs asking for opinions. Only your wife knows what's bothering her. And it's better to embrace her concerns head on than try to pussyfoot around it asking Redditors, the most socially inept and awkward people, for advice on how you should feel. Not trying to sound like a douchebag, but take some charge in your marriage. Definitely let it go. Married for 13 years. We have 3 kids. I work a lot and out of town as well. Granted, not as much as you. But when my wife gets a chance to hang out with friends, there is an incredibly good chance she's coming home at 3 or 4 a.m. And all the parenting duties are on me for the next day. I might get laid, I might not, but what I am getting is a solid night's sleep. I'm in my 40s though, and we do the relationship dance very well. I don't need sex as prolifically as I did in my 20s and 30s. I've had weekends where it's just me and the 3 kiddos, 2, 3 and 8, and it's complete insanity, so I too want my wife to get away as much as possible. Just gotta put your wants on the back burner occasionally. Now if there are lingering intimacy or trust issues that need to be resolved causing your slight distress, then just address those, but otherwise don't guilt her for tying one off with friends. Everyone needs a break, and it seems like you know that too. Good luck. Stay communicating. So to be clear, you're gone at work and she takes care of the kids and goes to school. Then you come home and initiate being intimate, as much as possible. And this time it was after she's been drinking? Here's some perspective for consideration. She's working 24/7 to care for the kids, putting their needs above hers. She's trying to keep up with school. And she may feel she also has to cater to your emotional and sexual needs above hers when you're home too. This leaves basically no time for herself. That's a lot on someone's plate. She's allowed to have a break and needs a break sometimes. There's nothing wrong with initiating sex with your wife, to be clear. But I am saying maybe you should cut her some slack and not be grumpy that she stayed out late with friends and you didn't get laid. Because that's how your post kinda reads. I can promise you if you hold onto this, you guys are going to have way bigger problems down the road. I can provide some insight because this is very much like my life. Except I work 9 to 5 as well and have 3 kids. They're older though. My husband also works out of town for weeks at a time. So essentially, your wife is doing everything. She takes care of the kids, takes care of the house, takes care of all the appointments and things needed for school, etc. Takes care of grocery buying, cooking, etc., etc. On top of that, is doing school as well. She never, ever gets a break. This is a 24/7 gig. And there isn't anyone to step in and take over. You, on the other hand, have to just work. I'm assuming. Once your workday is done, you can do whatever you want. You have none of the other things to worry about. So when you come home, you are finally tagging her out momentarily so she can have a break. You see it as finally seeing your wife and kids after being gone, and want and feel you deserve that time with her. But from her perspective, she finally has a minute to breathe and check out. I can assure you that if you begin to express your expectation of sex and intimacy as soon as you come home, it will become a situation where she starts to dread your arrival. knowing that this is one more thing on her list that is expected of her. That instead of your arrival being a life raft, it is a burden because she knows she can't have herself to herself for a moment before giving herself to you. That, my friend, is how resentment builds. This is exactly the situation that happened in my relationship. I was doing everything, on top of working a full-time job. And my husband would come home and expect me to drop everything and put him first. I understand his perspective, because in his eyes, he was finally getting to spend time with us. But that expectation almost ruined our marriage. I began to dread when he came home, because that meant that I would need to provide sex no matter how I felt, or he wouldn't be happy. That I had to cancel my plans because he felt we should spend that whole time together. It felt like I was a slave to him. We went through a lot of fights and resentment on both sides. And luckily were able to communicate effectively in the end in order to fix things. But we were so close to getting to a place that would have been irreparable. My advice is to stop putting expectations like this on your wife. It will absolutely lead to the end of your relationship if you're not careful. Let us go. Seriously. Married 21 years. Have had a job that entire time that required travel. 5 kids. Maintaining a home. Your own job. And raising kids without your spouse is tough as hell. My wife has done a phenomenal job with that over the years. Remember, raising kids at times is a job itself. Doing that and taking care of the house is definitely equivalent to a full-time job. Then she is going to school and/or working, which is another job. You get to go focus on one job. When she's at home, she is at work. She needs to go out, escape from work and blow off some steam. The work away thing ain't easy. It takes a lot of work and a lot of consideration and patience on both sides. I don't want sex all the time either. I don't care if you've come home from been away for 2 weeks. Yes, I would have missed you greatly, but if I've looked after the kids all day, and during the time you've been away, I'm tired and needing space. And yes, friend time. Cuddle me. Let's snuggle. But I probably won't be in the mood for intimacy. Nothing against you. I would be just tired. Speaking from personal experience. I'm trying to work out exactly what it is you're upset about. She went out one night with a friend and then didn't want to have sex? Why is that upsetting? Has she never said no to sex before? I'm sure she was happy to see you, but she's been working 24/7 between the kids and study, and now finally had the chance to have one night to herself to have fun. You should be happy for her that she finally had that opportunity. You said yourself you encourage that. So essentially you're hurt because she wasn't in the mood one time? Have you tried to do other things for her? It sounds like you are focusing too much on sex when you're home. Show her you care in other ways. Offer to do things that make her day easier so she has the energy to give you what you want. That will make her want to initiate. Is it possible she feels abandoned by you? Did you talk about that? I understand you're trying your best, but it still might feel like that for her. Women who do all the work tend to lose interest in intimacy. She sounds exhausted. Sometimes it takes a bit to flip the switch between responsible caretaker and down for sexy times. Doesn't mean she's not interested. She may just be reminding herself that she's an adult after having child-level conversations for a while. Just wiggle your eyebrows. Give her a compliment and ask her how she feels. If she's not in the mood, just give her a hug and watch a movie together. As long as it's still comfortable and happy time together, the rest will follow. Try not to immediately see it as rejection. Best of luck. One thing I've found with some long-distance stuff and sometimes apart, You have to get adjusted to life the way it is to survive. So she adjusts to the 2 kids and her and just hanging in there. Get a break when you can. You coming home may take a day or so to adjust back to having you home. Obviously impossible to say for sure, but I've seen this exact thing on a small scale a lot. When you're watching kids along 24 hours a day, you're just trying to make it to the other side. Most other stuff, including sex, needs time to get back on the front burner. It's not like the movies. She planned and had a great night out. Her friend. Maybe approach the issue from her perspective. Ask how her friend is doing, whether there was a need to blow off steam, etc. Was it a rough week at home? Tell her you can hardly wait to be close physically. And it took a world of restraint to back off when she was spinning. You have no idea whether she vomited, had diarrhea, etc. during the night out partying. Her friend. Get close with words, concentrating on her. Then follow up. Physical if it's right. You can be disappointed, but she's probably pretty tired and managed to have some fun and just wanted to sleep it off. It wouldn't be wise to take it personally and hold bitterness. That won't serve you well. Let it go and say good morning and have a good visit. Honestly, I think you could try talking it out. Couldn't hurt to try. Let it go. She's tired at the end of the day. I suggest trying in the morning when you can go slow and easy. Give her a nice back massage to wake her up and then see where that leads. Tip: brush your teeth first. Morning breath is not great. I have worked for months away at a time. I feel mostly just like you about everything you described. So, here is my take after 17 years of it. You are making some common mistakes. Ones you will keep making your whole life. But that you need to give attention whenever you realize it. You are right in letting her direct her life without being disruptive when you are home. And letting her dictate sex and other things. But sometimes women want to switch out of the decision role and let someone else take the lead. This is a balancing act that can only happen with good communication with your partner. No magic answer here. Just maybe ask her if she wants you to take the lead sometimes. Plan a date. Or a simple surprise. Something that she just has to show up to. But don't go planning some huge thing only for her to be too tired and you get disappointed when it doesn't happen. You can't put her on the spot. Instead, ask her on a date. And tell her you will plan everything. Get a babysitter and agree on times. Just like when dating. You have to continue courting for life. I know that when I get home I just want to be home. I look forward to being close and intimate. And just being a family together at home. I even think of it as being a good family man that just wants his family. Not the world and entertainment outside of it. Content with what I have to come home to. But she has been home with the kids, being a family woman non-stop, and is looking forward to the break. So sometimes I cook and clean and help with the kids' homework. Sometimes we go out together even if it is just shopping. And most the time I blow it and relax on the couch on Reddit. Anyway, just a little to think about. TL. Dear. Treat her like when you just met and you were trying to date her. You shouldn't ask what to feel. Just feel. Also, don't ask this on Reddit, ask this to your wife. Clear and open communication will do better than any advice you get from Reddit. I'm a stay-at-home mom of a 4-year-old and am in my last term of school. Sex is the last thing on my mind after having a small child constantly in my vicinity almost 24 hours a day. Them going to sleep is literally the only time I have to myself, and I prefer it quiet with no one touching me. That being said, I understand intimacy and sex are important to my soul, and it's something I'm working on in therapy. We do try to make time for ourselves though, but he's been incredibly understanding as to why. I highly suggest you just talk to her. She's probably overwhelmed with what she deals with on a daily basis but doesn't know how important that time is for you. There is nothing to be lost by sitting down and just having a conversation with her. Good luck.
If you enjoyed this video, please check out our playlists full of similar content. Epic Haircast is like doom scrolling for your ears. Please like, share, and subscribe.